Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Nick Van Kirk with South Bay Fire Department. Here we're going to talk about two new key policies for South Bay Fire Department. One being our district social media usage policy, and then the other being our paid family medical leave policy as well. So, why are policies important? So, a little bit of that is to reduce liability, but also to enhance our department and delineate, clear distance, direction, and intent and guidance, just so we have some clarity, which usually helps everyone operate a little bit easier and more efficiently. So with that, let's start off with district social media. So we are all representatives of our department, right? And so as social media becomes more prevalent with the way we communicate and the way we're out there as a department, it's just important to start to set some boundaries and guidelines. So when we talk about that, we talk about we're representatives for our community. Our citizens see how we act, our opinions, the things that we put on there. So we want to make sure we're putting our best foot forward. But we're also making sure the department is respecting the privacy and opinions of department members. But by and large, what we're talking about here is what and how we use social media and digital media when we're on shift, right? So that just means what is allowed, reasonable use on our off time to search, news, CNN, Fox News, whatever your flavor is, to include sports, limited games, research. I myself do quite a bit of homework while I'm on shift. So those are all things that we're allowed to do. Now, what is not allowed, just things like pornography, gambling, private business ventures, and then being on sites of political or religious extremism. Also, this includes downloading any copyrighted material in terms of music, or any type of media that is copyrighted that we cannot download. The other thing is what things aren't allowed in terms of social media. So your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram is anything that could be considered sexual harassment in nature, anything that could be considered harassment in nature, or anything that could generally be hurtful. I mean, a general guideline, do unto others as you would do unto them, or they would do unto you, rather. And then with that, understanding that district material, our policies and procedures, pictures, any type of literature that we've created, that's all, district material. So we shouldn't be posting that to a public domain without first asking the fire chief or our public information officer, right? So I think that may kind of alleviate most off the bat questions. And of course, any more questions can be directed at the fire chief, the public information officer, or myself, who's written the policy. And then, you can also refer to the policy, which is public domain, on South Bay Fire Department's webpage. So the next thing we'll talk about is paid family and medical leave. This is important, not only as members of the fire department, but also our families, right? Because as firefighters and EMS professionals, we can't take care of what we need to take care of at our jobs, if our universe isn't right, and if our family and our household isn't right. So paid family medical leave, we draw from the revised Code of Washington, 50 Alpha.04, that delineates clear, concise use of paid family medical leave. So who does this cover? So it'll cover department members, spouses, domestic partners, your children, to include adopted children and children that you may be fostering, and also other members of your immediate household. It also includes recovery from surgeries, medical procedures, and those recovering from PTSD and just post-traumatic stress, and those that are trying to reconnect with military spouses. So within that, we have two different types of leave, right? We have medical leave and we have family leave. So medical leave deals, like I said, with those types of procedures, birth, major surgery, counseling, like I said, for PTSD or post-traumatic stress, and then family leave. Family leave can apply to bonding with a new family member, whether you're like I said, whether you're fostering a child, adopting a child, or you just had a child. And it also family leave also applies to department members who may have a military spouse. If a military spouse has gone on a long deployment, then they can come back, and that bonding is essential, right, for the wealth and health of our families. So times and also qualifications. So qualifications, you have to have been worked in the state of Washington for 820 hours or around 16 weeks preceding the event that's taking place within the preceding calendar year. You can get up to 12 weeks of medical or family leave, 16 weeks of medical and family leave combined for one or more event that may happen throughout the year, and you can also get a total of 18 weeks of combined medical leave for something, let's say, specific to like a woman having a C-section, right? So there needs to be time for bonding with the child, but also recovery from this major surgery. So that pretty much covers paid family medical leave. And then any questions, of course, you can direct them to the fire chief, the policy, or myself. So that covers 2 key new policies. Again, any questions, I can be reached at 360-584-7540. You can look up my shift schedule, or I'm at N. Van Kirk at South Bay Fire. So if there are no more questions, thank you for your time. We'll see you out there.